Well, first up tonight, the National Petroleum Authority has announced that it will implement the suspension of the price stabilization and recovery levy on fuel for 2 months, beginning November. The authority, in a notice, said this is based on a letter from the Finance Ministry directing it to commence a reduction from the beginning of next month. Now, this will mean that the price of petrol will go down by 16 pesos per litre, whilst that of diesel will reduce by 14 pesos when the implementation begins. The implementation of the tax is, however, the tax reduction, I should say, is dependent on parliamentary approval. Now, government says it is willing to consider removing some taxes on petroleum products, but this will be based on some conditions. Now, this follows calls for government to cushion consumers. Deputy Minister of Energy, Andrew Ejapamesa, says government is looking at other programs that will cushion consumers in these difficult times. He has been speaking on PM Express Business Edition.
So what was the value of your increasing taxes and levies from 28 pesos to the 169? And they will tell you that they had to use it for EFGHI expenditure. And then you ask them that, oh, so those EFGH expenditure have all gone away? They have failed to exist? And of course, they will have a difficulty in providing an answer. But I'm saying that, yes, it is a duty of government to manage through a balancing act of its total revenues and expenditures. It is the duty, responsibility, which we admit and accept, of government to provide relief. And you recall when the COVID hit, government provided relief, water, electricity, feeding to people who, because of the pandemic, were unable to make ends meet. You heard the kinds of things. We
understand that.
No, hold on. You recall the kinds of things that they said.
Yeah.
You recall?
Some of them, Honorable.
You don't recall all of them?
I recall some of them, not all of them.
Yeah. So that's the nature. And should that be the conversation? I'm prepared, and I believe that the Finance Ministry is prepared to look again at whether indeed the bust margin, and I've heard advocacy from civil society, BDC, the Chamber, and COPEC, make a case why they think that a certain margin.
So the discussion is going between the Ministry of Finance to look at the possibility of reviewing some levies.
Indeed, I mentioned to Senior Hosi, whom I was on a program with at Joy, that you are a member of the advisory board of the Ministry of Energy. Table these issues, and as far as I'm concerned, to the extent that they are constructive, why not?
The government will look on it as long as they won't have serious impact on our
I'm saying
levels.
that there has to be a balance.